And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first round of the Simpit ACC League here on YouTube. Tonight we are here at the wonderful Monza circuit. The guys are currently in free practice. The track does look nice and warm. It is in game 30 degrees on the track, so nice good conditions for the guys. But no longer holding up, let's get over to the circuit. We are currently on board looking through Amir, as unfortunately he makes a very mess up of that first chicane there. So Amir Assad is one of the Simpit hosts. He is one of the admin teams. Just have to keep an eye on other bits and bobs at the same time, guys. So everything does look to be in order. I am going to change some of the information for you on the stream. So you can see the cars, you can see the race numbers. Let's give you the session. What should we do? Let's go over the manufacturers for today. So as you can see, both Ramsheed is in the Ferrari, Callum McLeod is in the Mercedes, Alesh Mum is in the BMW, Mr. Antonio Santos is also in a Mercedes, Brandon Carl in the Honda, Amir Assad, who we are currently looking at, is in the BMW, Heiko Sherman, our season last champion, is in his number 1 car in the BMW. We also got Chris Ganali, he's also in the BMW, Roger Clark in the Nissan GTR, and Mr. Ken Estep in the Ferrari. We are missing just a couple of drivers, we're only missing 3 drivers from today's race. They still do have time to join. They can join up all the way up to the end of qualifying. Just in the race they can't join, unfortunately. But we do have 5 minutes remaining of free practice, and then we'll go into our 20-minute qualifying session. I am just going to check that our camera system is working. As we look for back now from Antonio Santos' Mercedes. Looking back there at Mr. Chris Granali. So as you can see, guys, we are using custom number boxes on our cars. All liveries actually have been made by myself. So if you are looking at joining the championship, please obviously join the Simpit Discord. Drop us in, select which car you want to go in, let us know what you like, if you want any typical logos on the car, and we will make the livery for you. So you're going to have our custom number box on the side. As we go from a helmet camera here from Antonio. Don't normally use this camera, so this is going to be a new one for us. As Callum Cloud has gone fast, it's 150.995 at the moment. Lap times do seem to be good from the guys. Very tight grid today. To keep an eye. Unfortunately, you will see my mouse moving across. It's just because we do have multiple overlays running. So I'm just trying to keep that to an absolute minimum. There you go, as Mr. Heiko Sherman goes fastest now with a 150.515. So Mr. Amir Assad is in the pits at the moment. As we'll go on to have a look at last season's champion, Mr. Heiko Sherman from Whipperman Racing. He does look like he's trying to improve his lap again. We will get some false flag information, unfortunately. It's just due to the slow nature of some of the corners here. It does instantly flick up. So we do expect to some of the times in qualifying to drop down a little bit more. So tonight's race, guys, is a 1 hour race here at Monza. We've increased the time from 45 minutes to 1 hour long now. The guys will still have their mandatory 1 pit stop to change tyres. Again, guys, if you want to join, let us know. Join the Discord, join the simracing.gp community, and come race with us. We'll be racing now every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock UK time. That is 1 PM Eastern time and 10 AM Pacific time. As Heiko's got it even faster now, just knocked off a 10th of his best time. But again, these is only free practice. The race could end up with some unusual subjects being in different places, and unfortunately that's normal. So Chris Ganali's just gone second fastest in his BMW. As we look back now from Roger Clark in the Nissan, seeing a nice group of cars there. We're seeing Mr. Antonio Santos and Alesh Mum behind. No, sorry, not Alesh Mum. We're looking at Chris Ganali behind these two. So Chris looks like he's just dropped back now, giving himself a little bit more space. Guys, I do have this chat open, so if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to. Ooh, Chris made a mistake there, taking a little bit too much curb. That could be because he's got a big group of guys in front of him. You couldn't just quite see the apex properly. Oh, Roger Clark's just got off the track. I'm going to try to see if you can see the TV camera from him, as he's just teleported back to the pit lane. We'll go over to Callum McLaren and see he's coming into the pits. He's currently sitting in 3rd place. As you can see, guys, all cars this season are also running full LED auxiliary lights, so when we do have our night races, these cars will be glowing. So free practice now has come to an end. We're going to go over to our track overlay screen just as they finish, just so there is no massive jolt when they change over. So the best lap in that session was a 1:50.4. So the guys now are just gone green for qualifying. So we will now head back over to the racetrack. Oh, I do apologise, I forgot my end. I need to restart. I need to go back into the garage for it to change over. So the track temperature, guys, as you can see here on this screen, is 23 air temp, 29 track. It is cloudy, but the track is in optimum conditions, so we should see some really nice fast laps from the guys today. So anyone in particular you want to watch, let me know and we will watch over them. So the guys are now rolling out for the first part of qualifying. It is a 20-minute session, so we will expect to see them diving in and out now and then. So it looks like the first person who will have a lap will be Mr. Callum McLaren. It looks like he's out the front there, he's just warming up the tyres on the brakes. Brake dragging is a thing in real life. We do use it to produce heat through the brakes into the rims themselves to help build pressure. Terry Crouch wants to see Mr. Ken Estep, so we'll click over to Ken now. Have a look from his view. We'll cycle through the special cameras, so now we'll cycle to a rear camera. Looking back at Mr. Heiko Sherman. Looking at the front splitter now, looking straight at Callum's rear end as he's going to go flying past. As Heiko's saying, no, I want first. So unfortunately Ken's livery has not shown for us today, that's why his number box does look normal. Ban Heiko. Make him start from the pit lane. If I could, I would. But unfortunately, we can't kind of do that. If there's foul play from him, then maybe we will. But thank you guys for joining and watching. This is the first full season for the ACC Simpit League. The insights that you can see on the screen, so the overlays are all produced by ACC TV. They are a very good group of people who have helped make all this information be available to you. So I've just put on the qualifying best deltas at the moment, but what we'll do is after this one we'll put their personal bests up just so you can keep an eye. But information in the bottom right would be that each sector, their best lap time, what position they're in, and their number. The only foul play is running this time when after working. Yes, yeah, Terry is a nightmare, unfortunately. But I am looking at for when the next DLC comes out. What is rumored to be GT World Challenge America is to do a late night. And I mean late night UK time, like the same time as our Simpit Road League and our Simpit Oval League, is to run a GT World Challenge America series on a Friday night, or any day that we can make it work for everyone. So keep an eye on that. The new DLC should be coming out in the next I think it's about 3 months now. So that will be one to keep an eye on. It should be coming out at the start of September, well, summertime. So there will be stuff to keep an eye out for. So we do have our first lap times coming in. Mr. Heiko Sherman's just gone fastest with a 1:49.4. That's going to be hard to beat for a lot of people. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. As you can now see, as the guys are starting to cross the line, those green boxes are up on their best lap times so far. Grey means they're equaling, red means they are slower, so keep an eye on those. So Leshman goes a little bit too deep there, so he's coming out of the first chicane. I do apologise for my mouse showing on the screen again. As we look on board for Mr. Roger Clark in the Nissan GTR. As he has Mr. Callum McLeod behind him in the Mercedes. Terry, finally a reason to learn ACC. Buddy, if you ever need any help with any of the stuff for ACC, drop me a message. I'm quite happy to, always willing to help everyone. As you can see, the guys who are running all custom liveries tonight, I've sat there and I've made them. I made 4 liveries. The last 4 I did was all I did in one day. So a lot of time and effort put into them. Some of them are nice and easy to put together, some are very awkward to put together. Getting a lot of buffering on the stream, I do apologise for that. As Mr. Heiko Sherman's gone even faster for 1:49.1. Wow. That is some very fast times. As M.Vowles-SG has returned to the pits, Roger Clark is in the wall. I think Callum McLeod went into the wall there as well. Let's go have a look from the helicopter. No, Callum's still rolling. So as you can see, that orange box has appeared. That means that there was contact between these two. So we'll have a look at the replay quickly. Oh, yes, there was contact between those two. Naughty, naughty boys. So we're now back live. Mr. Sean Cole is meant to be racing. This is the whole reason why we're on this now time zone for the races. But unfortunately, he has not shown up. So everyone in the Discord, no lie, shout at him as much as you like. Yeah, as Terry said there, Sean Cole most likely did forget. So we're just coming nearly up to halfway through qualifying, and as we look on board from Heiko's car, he is up on his lap time again. This is going to be absolutely a dominant lap. This will put him in the 48s at this rate. So at the moment, currently the top... Oh, unless I've just got pushed down a little bit. It is BMW, Ferrari. As the end go, a 148.702. I think Heiko there can now just sit in ease and relax, because he is a long way in front there. As we look at Callum McLaren, does have some damage on the front. I'm surprised he hasn't come and pitted in for that. Callum is running under the name of Team Sploosh, as he is an Archer fan, so his livery is based upon that. The Mercedes is suited his driving style way better than the McLaren last season. That is good to see. As that lap time puts him fourth with a 1:51.400. So I will put up the current best session times. So that is the current times that everyone has been setting. As Roger Clark says, you know what, that first chicane, I'm not taking it, I'm going over the grass. So I will try to get our autopilot to switch between instances a little bit more. But so we will emphasize pack racing and also proximity. Just trying to get the cameras to change a little bit more quicker. So currently at the moment, Amir Assad and Roger Clark are the only ones who have not put in a lap time yet so far. Amir Assad is now back out on track. As we look back now from Antonio Santos. Portuguese bandit as well going to be called in. If we look competitive, his race pace yesterday does seem more on pace with what's going to be through the race more than qualifying, so keep an eye out on him. Alesh Mum currently in the midway pack of the group, currently here in his BMW. Unfortunately his livery has not loaded. Could be an issue with uploading at his end, because as Antonio Santos has come off the track, so he can recover. And he has, what's nice to do. So Aleshman's delivery, unfortunately, is one of the ones that I'm missing. So is Mr. Ken Estep. So we'll look over at Ken. See across the line with a 1:53.792. That was his fastest lap. So we're under the 10 minutes now remaining of qualifying. The ones who have got the red flags next to their name, guys, are the ones in the pits. We are looking at ways to have that not show as in pits. But we are still working on a few things over at ACC TV that I work a part of. We'll switch over to Mr. Chris Ganali and see how he's going on in his BMW. As he is coming down into a Scary chicane. Went a little bit wide there. Car does look a little bit unsettled. As we now go on board from the passenger seat camera. Callum McLeod is currently back in the pit lane as well in third. Alesh Mum is in the pit lane as well. Brandon Carl's in the pit lane. Heiko is back out on track to get another lap in. We'll head over to Mr. Brandon Carl. See, he's just currently just sitting nice and quietly in the pit lane. Just switching through the cameras just to make sure all our camera systems are working. Samir Assad unfortunately has dropped it again, looks like, in Ascari. But he has now got a lap time in of a 152.5. So it does look like we've got two decent, well, good group of guys here. So as normal, Mr. Amir Assad is one of the Simpit admins. You can find his videos on our YouTube channel. Not on my personal one that we're streaming from today. We're looking at the main Simpit YouTube. So it is nice to see everyone's liveries. Unfortunately, we do have a couple missing from liveries today, and also we do have 3 people who have not showed. Mr. Sean Cole being one of them. We will be having a go at him. Don't worry about that. I'll make sure that happens. So it's Chris Gondali's now broken into the 149.4. So he is... Cool, he's got just over half a second to gain. Sorry, he's got 7/10 to gain to catch up to Heiko. So there's going to be a time, but everyone's now got a lap time in, what's nice to see. As we're coming up to now under 5 minutes remaining. Oh, I do apologise. Oh, unfortunately, Ken's there made a mistake. That car is down, so he will return to the pits there. So we look from the front splitter of Mr. Santos's car. Unfortunately, the nationalities are still not fully working. As you see, everyone is shown as a world flag. Still need to get that to work fully in depth. But we will back over to the fastest laps of everyone, so you can keep an eye on their fastest laps. Heiko Sherman's on another fast lap. So we'll keep an eye on him. Can he break in to the dead under the mids 48s, or can he go even faster and go into the 47s? So we'll stick on with him. Yes, as he's got 148.2. That's given him a 1.2 second lead now over Chris Ganali. That is some serious pace there. As we actually go back over now to Chris Ganali in the other BMW. So currently is BMW, Mercedes, Ferrari, BMW, Honda, Mercedes, BMW, Ferrari, Nissan. Unfortunately, that Nissan, it's got some really top-end speed to it, but it's just not pulling, it looks like, enough for Mr. Roger Clark. As we do see, Mr. Brandon Carl is actually out on track behind. Brandon Carl in his Honda NSX Evo. He's just gone a little bit too wide there. That's 30 that lap. The Honda NSX Evo in the last update, where we had the newest DLC out, came out, has had a massive upgrade. It's now basically, and has been confirmed, is now in line with the Honda Evo 2 model of this car. It's still in game shown as the Honda Evo, not the Evo 2, but that's purely for the fact of all the upgrades were done to the car, all electronic and suspension and engine. None of it was external on the body, so to save resources, they've just upgraded the entirety underneath of that car. As we look from Mr. Bolf Ramshield here in the Ferrari in currently in P4. As we come up to 30 seconds remaining left of qualifying. Mr. Heiko Sherman's in the pits. He said, that's enough, I don't need to go out and do any more. Well, it's not surprising with that much of a lead. That is a massive gap. Come on, Mr. Ramshield, go faster. He is currently up on his time. He has improved. The gap between these two now for third and fourth are absolutely minimal. I'm going to bring up their personal best. Have a look at that gap. A 0.003 of a second. 0.003. That is massively impressive. Callum McLeod is in the pits. He is finished. He's no longer taking part of qualifying, as this is the last one. We're going to stay on board with Mr. Bolf here. I would love to see if he's able to go any faster. But we'll quickly look who's up, also out upon times. Mr. Chris Canali is not. He's down on his time. Bolf is up by 0.2, 0.3 of a second right now. Who's that? Who's just joined us in the commentary box? Hello, Mr. Carl. How are you?
What you doing there, Mike?
I am currently broadcasting. How's everything going?
Brake ducts. The lower number's the smaller one, right?
Yes, the smaller the number, the more closed your brake ducts will be.
Alright, cool.
How is your qualifying going?
Not too bad. 151.
587. So
yeah,
currently in P6, so right close to Alesh. Alesh is only 2 tenths. No, not even 2 tenths. Yeah, actually yes, 2 tenths faster than you. So it should be nice and tight in the race.
Yeah.
So good luck and have fun in the race, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I like to thank the Simpit. I like to thank the Honda for giving me this opportunity.
So there we go, guys.
Have a good race, sir.
Yeah. No worries. Enjoy yourself. Have a good one. So that was Mr. Brandon Carl just popping in to say hi and asking a quick question. Well, it's perfectly valid of all the drivers to do. The guys are now sat on the grid, so they have just a little bit of time. Whilst this is going on, I'm going to bring up some information for you lovely people. So we're just going to bring over there, bring up, so you'll see they have one mandatory stop. That's what's just popped up on the screen now with that orange box with the number 1 in it. After they have done that, it will go to a green box. So if they pit and that's not cleared, we will have to give the information of they have missed their pit stop. We have to bring them back in. They will have to change the tyres. That's the only mandatory thing they have, is that they have to change tyres. So we do have a 10-minute pit window at the halfway mark. That will open at the 35 minutes remaining time and close at 25 minutes remaining. As we look back here from Heiko Sherman into Mr. Callum McLeod's Mercedes, you can see those LED lights there in the grille. That Mercedes hopefully should do a really nice job and pull off this line. So keep an eye on that. As the cars are now starting to fire up. So we're looking at just about 30 seconds to go. The track temp has now come up a bit more. It's now 31 degrees. So it's sunny at 24 degrees air temp. So looking nice out there for the guys. Doesn't look like there's any sign of rain. So Mr. Heiko Sherman is leading them off now on the formation lap. That is one of the settings I do believe was meant to be set at short. So I do apologise to all the drivers. But this will get them time to get those tyres up to temperature for the race start. The only reason we said we're going to run a short formation lap is because on tracks like Spa, where the track is so long, you do want that little bit less wear on the guys. So as we go down through the grid, we've got Mr. Heiko Sherman on pole position, followed by Mr. Chris Ganali also in the BMW, followed by Mr. Callum McLeod in the Mercedes, Wolf Ramschild in the Ferrari. Then you got Alesh Mum in the other one of the other BMWs, looking very strong as Alesh. Mr. Brandon Carl, who we just had heard from, in the Honda in P6. Antonio Santos in the other Mercedes, that is Amir Assad, one of the Simpit head hosts and admins in P8 in the BMW. Then Mr. Kenneth Stepp in the Ferrari Evo, and Mr. Roger Clark bringing up the rear in the Nissan GTR. So as we get ready to go, you see the guys are just trying to get some heat up into those tyres, using the brake drag just to get those temperatures up. They have been given full race briefing on how the race procedures now do work. Some of the guys don't want to get caught off by it. We have seen that happen in the past. So we are going to just change a few things, because so we can use their race numbers, or again we can use their position. Again, I don't think the position would be any needed for this one. As we look back from P2 here, Chris Canali, they're going to be lining up double foul very shortly here now. So looking back at that Team Sploosh Racing Mercedes. So we're going to switch from the race numbers now to the gaps on the screen, as we're lining up too wide here for the rolling start at the first round of the Simpit ACC League, presented by simracing.gp. So as they come around the final corner, we're going to go on the heading count and look mainly from Hiker Sherman. I do apologise that it's snapped to a different view there. Just as the start here, I will turn off the autopilot of the cameras just so we can focus on the leader. So I will be manually using these cameras right now. So they're just coming up. They will be green any second now. And we are underway here for the first round. So unfortunately, Mr. had a little bit of a fallback there from Mr. Callum McLeod. Didn't expect him to be more further up. We are going to stay on with the helicopter cam. We're going to click into the mid pack though, just to see how everyone gets through the first chicane. Oh, a little tap there for Mr. Brandon Carl. We will go back and look at that incident. So let's see, who was the instigating car here? It is Mr. Amir Assad. Mr. Amir Assad was the person who got into the back of Mr. Brandon Carl. But up front it is Mr. Heiko Sherman pulling away already from Chris Granali. The cars now are thundering down the back straight, heading towards the Scary chicane. Unfortunately, I didn't change my name in the game. I was meant to, so I will give a warning. So I've got to just jump into the game chat, and so the screen will slightly change a minute, gentlemen. I do apologise for this. It will become laggy, unfortunately, whilst I'm here. As we see Mr. Callum McLeod there going off. I do apologise that it's now starting to freeze up, guys. I am trying to resolve that quickly for you. There we go. The stuttering there is from me having to go back into the in-game screen. I'm running multiple screens and that it does cause a bit of lag, so having my programs up does help it. Amir Assad is shown as all going slow. Does seem to be clear though. It's not going too slow. But we'll switch back over to the autopilot now for the cameras. So at the moment, both Ramshaw has gained 1 place. Callum McLeod has lost. Amir Assad has gained 2 places. Roger Clark has gained 2 places. Mr. Brandon Carl unfortunately has lost 4 due to that contact. As we see a new fast lap there from Mr. Heiko Sherman can pop up. Don't know why it just showed my camera. It's not meant to, but it showed the virtual mirror there. It's Mr. Callum McLeod and Alesh Mum make a mistake coming into that first chicane, just outbraking themselves. So as you can see, there is already a 3.6 second gap between first and second. The gap is closing, but that's just due to braking zones. So currently, Heiko Sherman, both Ramshield, Callum McLeod and Alesh Mum are the fastest coming into turn 1 at 271 kilometers per hour. So this is where our main battle is at the moment, this mid-pack here. So look now for Callum McLeod, the leader of this little pack here, currently in 4th. Let's see if he can use his free practice that he's done with us to push himself a little bit forward. Took a bit too much of a harsh stab there. As Heiko Sherman's gone fastest again now with a 149.5. He's really trying to extend his gap here. He's already up to nearly 5 seconds gap for just over the first 5 minutes. As Callum McLeod this time has got through the chicane properly. Sherman has shown us a white flag, so don't know if he went off there at all. As you can see, he's already pulled a massive gap here for Mr. Chris Canale, who's just coming now into Ravazza 1. As he's coming out of Ravazza 1, Heiko's already turning in from Ravazza 2. Shows some absolute dominance here. We did say there was going to be no success balance in the rulebook. So this is down to all the drivers to try to chase down Heiko and go, no, you are not winning a second season in a row. So Chris Canale there is for Aquilia Racing and Orion Racing. Aquilia is the head team for those guys. Orion is their developmental team. Again, guys, we are open to anyone who wants to join from any level of drivers. Again, we are mainly aimed at amateur drivers, but we do have some very fast guys, not top level esports guys, but very high level amateur drivers, all the way down to guys who are completely new to being, this could even be their first ACC online race. We cater for everyone. We don't discriminate against anyone. We're always here to help everyone. If you need any questions asked, there's someone pretty much always online in the Discord channel. So always feel free to hop into there, have a chat with the guys. If there's anything ACC Pacific, you can always ask myself. We also have a massive community in iRacing. We take part in their big endurance events. We also run a road series on there. And we also run NASCAR oval circuit series on there as well. As Mr. Brandon Carl gets past Mr. Roger Clark here in the Nissan. So Brandon Carl just gained back 2 of his positions, unfortunately he lost from his contact with Amir Assad. So we look back now from Brandon's car into that front of that Nissan. Mr. Alesh Mum is very close up to Mr. Callum McLeod. So we'll have a look from his front splitter. So you can tell the ones who unfortunately their livery has not shown it does show a base cut livery, plus also the standard number boxes. All our custom liveries that have been made have got Simpit Racing orange number boxes as a part of our custom livery details that we're running. So guys, again, if you don't have a custom livery and either want one, again, you can approach ourselves. I make liveries for ACC, but also we say if you're not going to run, don't want to run a full custom livery, preferably run one of the full in-game standard liveries. So there's Mr. Ken Estep. Unfortunately, Ken looks like he's already... Oh, sorry, not Ken. I do apologise, Ken. That's Mr. Bolf-Ramshield there in third place. Callum McLeod's called back up to him. As the two BMWs up front are running away from the group. So guys, we are looking at a way that we can dual broadcast this on two channels at the same time. Hiker's got even faster. Saying, no, you're not trying to catch up to me, Mr. Ganali. I'm going to pull away even more now with a 1:49.362. That is some very good pace there for in this early stages of the race. So we're looking at about 13 minutes now till the pit window opens, and these guys can come in for their first their one and only mandatory stop. Unfortunately, Callum making a mistake there again through the first chicane. Looks like he's just constantly outbraking himself. The breaking point in that Mercedes is the 150 metre board. You go any further than that, you will not stop in time. Excuse me. We'll switch over quickly from this battle and have a look up front. It's Mr. Heiko Sherman flying down the back straight. In that Whipperman Racing BMW M4. As I said before, he is the series current champion. As we look back at Mr. Bolf-Ramshield, looking back at Callum McLeod. Looks like every time Callum does get close enough, he does then start falling back, unfortunately, due to making a few mistakes as Leshman there comes across the first part of Ascari chicane. Looking very nice. He's got Mr. Amir Assad behind him. Mr. Antonio Santos. He's fallen back a little bit from the group, but Mr. Heiko Sherman's got even faster. We definitely need to rein that guy back in. Antonio Santos here for Petro Library. That's his YouTube channel. Make sure to go follow him as well. Representing Portugal. So we are spread all over today. So we've got Slovenia, we've got Germany, we've got Scotland taking part, we have obviously America taking part, Portugal. We have drivers from all over the place taking part. Last season we also had Mr. Amir Friday taking part. He was from Trinidad and Tobago. Unfortunately, he's not taking part this season so far. Again guys, sign-ups are available to come and join a race with us. So it does look like Callum is slowly trying to re-pull that gap back in. As Amir Assad has got past Alesh Mum now. can see the gap there from the back of Callum McLeod's car to Amir Assad. As we look on board from the Mercedes, again it's bringing up that virtual mirror. Can't quite see Amir Assad from there. .0 for Callum, so unfortunately that was 8/10 of a lap slower than both Ramshield, who was in front of him in that Ferrari. Just constantly just going out a little bit too deep into that chicane. We'll go for the helicopter cam look from Amir Assad's car. Now looking back towards Aleshmont. Try to keep on to the battle as much as possible as Roger Clark. Just coming through the first chicane. I believe Roger is literally brand spanking new to Assetto Corsa. He's not put much time in at all, unfortunately. As I see, Mr. Brandon Carl now has caught up with Antonio Santos. He's right behind him here. So Callum trying to pull Mr. Brandon Carl is trying to pull himself back now from that unfortunate contact between him and Mr. Amir Assad at the start of the race. Oh, Mr. Santos has just gone off into the wall. Oh, that's massively unfortunate there. Does seem to be a lot of front end damage now on that Mercedes. Yeah, there is a lot of damage. Let's hope he can keep it going just for another 7 minutes. No, he's going to bring it into the pit stop early. Unfortunately, he still have to come in and do his mandatory stop. So this is a big time unfortunate thing for Mr. Santos here. So that will be Roger Clark has progressed himself up into P9. Can Brandon Carl now catch up to Alesh Mummers? Callum McLeod, Alesh Mumm and Amir Assad are getting into just a little bit of a tight group here now. Again, I do apologise for those false slow car on track signs, those white flags that keep popping up. That's what you're seeing come up over the drivers' names. There is something wrong with the output coming from ACC TV and the game itself. As we look from the front splitter here of Callum McLeod, as I say that, we switch straight back over to the TV cameras. Mr. Santos is still in the pit lane. Unfortunately, that is one of the fast parts of the track, so you will get a lot of damage there. He's just coming out the pit lane now. Callum McLeod still messing up that exit. I do apologise there, guys. Just had to mute my mic for a split second. That's just Heiko Sherman's got even faster. Hitting on 148.8 in the middle of this race. So Mr. M.Vowles-SG is now closing onto the back of Callum McLeod. He's 1.5 seconds off. Leshmum's now dropped a little bit off. Callum McLeod has got a 12-second gap, but he's got to chase up to get to Leshmum. Let's see if he can do that by the end of this race. His pace currently is faster. Only just, but it is faster. So let's see if he can keep his pace going to claw his way back up. As Brandon Cole now is actually the fastest car on track coming into turn 1. So we look back from Callum McLeod's car into that BMW of M.Vowles-SG. So other than a little bit of contact at the start of the race, there has been no incidents on track that have involved car-on-car contact. Unfortunately, we did see Mr. Antonio Santos put it into the wall on the exit of Ascari, unfortunately. As M.Vowles-SG now is hunting the back of that Mercedes. So we look on board from Callum, using that inside helmet camera. On the back, there's a bit looking up for the inside in the braking zone. Callum is staying, didn't outbrake himself what we thought he might do. It did run through my head that he's going to outbrake himself again. But no, he has kept it on track this time. We will stay on board with this battle because this is the only tight battle, unfortunately, on track. But the pit stops are going to open in just under 2 minutes' time. Again, the insights here are brought to you by the lovely guys over at ACC TV. So hence why you got the really nice overlays on the racetrack. As that M.Vowles-SG now is right on the back of Callum McLeod. As the camera switches really awkwardly at the wrong time. M.Vowles-SG is looking all over the back of that Mercedes. Let's go look up the inside. No, he does stay behind for Ascari. Oh, no, he does dive. Side by side through Ascari. This is going to end up in 2 ways. Callum, a little bit of contact. Oh. And I think there's another car involved now. Alesh was involved as well. M.Vowles-SG is still... Oh, we will have to have a look back at that. Samir now is unfortunately flailing around, so we will go back and have a look at this contact as my camera is flicked onto the wrong images here. So we will switch back over to Helicam. We will look back at that replay again. So go side by side. Did Callum leave enough room? Had a little bit of contact. Oh, I don't know about that one, guys. I suppose both Ramshield is in the pits early. Is the pit window open? I'm not sure the pit window's open. The pit window's only just open now. Mr. Bolf Ramshield has pitted too early. But we will have to hop into the game, guys. I do apologise that it makes it lag. Sorry, I do apologise, guys. I'm trying to get this done as quick as possible. I'm meant to be looking at bits and bobs, but I need to get this done. There we go, we can get this in now. Gentlemen, I do apologise that it does lag our systems while we have to bring up that. That's why it does skip frames. I wish there was a way we could do this so it doesn't do that. So Mr. Callum McLeod does have a 5-second penalty added to his time. Unfortunately, there's something I can't show you on the screen. Callum McLeod is staying out. Unless Mumbles come into the pits. So the guys did take their pit stop and it has shown that it is cleared. So Mr. Ramshield, his pit has showed it is cleared. I'm just going to flip back into ACC. 1 second, gentlemen. I do apologise. Santos's pit did clear. Pit window is open. Okay, so we'll have to double check on some of these things because some bits are not working as they are meant to. So I did try to get that to be as small as possible. So Mr. Brandon Carr is also in the pit lane at the moment. So the pit lanes looks like the mandatory pit stop is not showing on our end. We will keep an eye on that as soon as Alesh Mums is showing for us. So that means Brandon Cars is going to show. So I'm going to drop that information off, guys, because that's going to get confusing for you. Because we are showing in game that there is ones that have been completed, but also that these ones are not, and I cannot clear them through the in-game menu. So unfortunately, Mirasar did get contacted there by Callum McLeod. Callum then was able to say, but did cause Amir then to have contact. It could have been a worse penalty. The 5-second penalty is the smallest penalty I could give, but it's one I had to give. So Mr. Chris Ganali has now come into the pits from P2. So the gaps now on the times, guys, are going to look out of sync, purely for the fact of everyone's now in the pit lanes. So this will show you who has and who's not taken a pit. Again, the information on that is wrong. It's Mr. Bowles-Ramsfield, unfortunately, there, and his Ferrari went off. So some of these informations that are coming up are incorrect. So this will be stuff that I will bring up to the developers of ACC TV. So that's currently everyone's fastest laps in the race. Heiko Sherman's now in the pit lane from P1. So I'll go back over to everyone's race numbers. So again, guys, for all these skipped throws that we've had, just it's unfortunate that it does it whilst we're doing the mandatory pit stop. Well, I have to go back into the game and do communications from there. I am looking at a third-party app, or even myself running in ACC through a laptop, just so I can do the communications for penalties on there, other than having to communicate it directly across. Brendan Carr is shedding a yellow flag for him for a second, but nothing there. So Mr. Heiko has just come out the pit lane. So currently in P1 is a Mirasad, followed by Mr. Heiko Sherman. Unfortunately, Mr. Antonio Santos there in the Mercedes behind him here is out of position. Callum McLaren is in the pits. His pit stop will be 5 seconds longer, so his time penalty will be cleared in this pit stop. It will not be added to his end of race. It will be added now whilst he is in the pits. So my pits time here is showing that Mr. Brandon Carl has taken 2 pit stops. One was actually a drive-through. I will double check that through the replays. Not through the in-game replays, but just through the information I can look at later on. So as these two are the closest on track, the game will focus onto these. So Leshman here is right behind Bolf. And if I'm correct, by looking at this, these two are actually full position on track. So Bowles-Ramsfield, who was up in 3rd place, could be under a bit of pressure here from Alesh. As we come down just over 25 minutes remaining of this race. So there will be a few things we need to tidy up in the next race. We do have a week now to that next one. So literally just 25 minutes remaining now. We are still just come to the end of the pit window. Pit window is now closed. So I will need to switch into the game and have a look what's going on, because I think 2 people have missed their pit stops. 3 people have missed their pit stops, I believe. So give me 1 second, guys. The stream will lag again. I do apologise for this. So Amir Assad, Ken Estep and Roger Clark have missed the pit window. So that's a big unfortunate for them. So they will be given time penalties issued by the game at the end of the race. So fortunately there is a few people who are out of position now. Quite heavily out of position. So you've got currently P1, P3 and P5 who are way out of their positions that they're meant to be in. Amir Assad is coming into the pits. It's not going to help him. He has missed the pit window. So even though he's now going to take his pit stop, he is still going to be hit with the penalty for not taking his pit stop when he was meant to. Mr. Ken Estep in his Ferrari, he's going to have the same issue if he pits. Same with Mr. Roger Clark. This is information that was told to him in the driver's briefing just before we went live on the stream. So this is purely on the drivers here. Callum McLeod down into 8th place after his pit stop and that time penalty added to him as well. So unfortunately that's dropped him way down. Amir Assad is out in front of him. Only just though. But yes, that is now a position for race on track, but unfortunately, again, Amir Assad, Ken Estep and Roger Clark did not stop during the pit window. That means they will have a big penalty added to the end of the race. So even though Amir Assad's now took his pit stop, will be fighting Callum for position on track. Unfortunately, he's going to push him further down. So Roger Clark has gone off, it looks like. Roger Clark did make a mistake there coming out of the Ascari chicane. We don't have the replay for it because it's not a car-to-car contact. Could manually override it to have a look, but that'll take us away from a lot more information. As Brandon Carl, here's just clear as well. It's just for getting the yellow, a false yellow flag there for him. Roger Clark again. Is now in the pit stop, but again he's missed the pit window, so even though he's taking a pit stop, the penalty is still going to apply. Ken Estep has now fallen back into third. But unfortunately he is way out of position purely for the fact of missing his pit stop window. So we will have to re-educate some of the guys, make sure they read the rule book that there is a pit window that they have to pit in. So as Roger Clark comes back on track, as we can see Mr. Heiko Sherman putting a lap unfortunately onto Mr. Antonio Santos. Heiko is absolutely running away with this. He is nearly... Oh, it's Antonio nearly, unfortunately, outbreaks himself. Nearly goes into the back of Heiko there. That would have not been good. Wish I could clear that red flag for Roger Clark, but it's one of the things we can't do. I will go back into the game. I just want to see if the pit stops are clearing quickly whilst they're not in the pits window. So okay, it is clearing even though it's outside the pit windows. So no penalties are going to be applied as long as Ken takes his pit stop window. I will jump into the in-game chat a minute, so it won't lag for a split second. Roger Clark has been disqualified. Don't know why that is. I've just cleared that penalty. So there we go, guys. I do apologise. I just needed to clear all those penalties. So the pits are clearing. Hi, Booth. Just do apologise there. The race has been going good. Unfortunately, we've had a few issues with the mandatory pit stop window opening, but the pit stops still registering even though they've been taken outside of the pit window. Other than that, it's been going good. Mr. Heiko Sherman is out in first place, followed by Mr. Chris Ganali. Unfortunately, 14 seconds back. Mr. Ken Estep is up in third. He hasn't took his pit stop though. Mr. Bolf Ramshield is up in fourth. Alesh Mum fifth. Amir Assad sixth. Callum McLeod in seventh. Brandon Carl eighth. Antonio Santos in ninth. Roger Clark in 10th. Unfortunately, we do have to slap Mr. Sean Cole as he did no show. So we will give him a little bit of a slap. No worries, my friend. That's why I thought I'll give you a quick little rundown of how everyone's doing. Yep, as well as obviously broadcasting, I'm doing the whole of this broadcast, as well as obviously doing the commentary. I am also applying the penalties at the same time. I will go into the in-game chat though and let Ken. Actually, no, I don't need to. Ken is in the pits right now to take his mandatory stop. Unfortunately, it's not in the pit window. There is something wrong with that. I will be contacting the people, the powers to be, to go, oi, what's going on? Yes, and also, exactly, Booth slaps Sean Cole. So everyone's livery is shown bar 2 drivers, so unfortunately it doesn't look like they downloaded the pack. Again, first race, there is always going to be little teething issues, especially for the new guys. Ken Estep, he's got no reason to though, he was racing last season. So currently looking at Mr. Chris Granali in his BMW, coming down behind Mr. Roger Clark. Mr. Roger Clark is a lap down from the guys. Unfortunately, he was disqualified and had a 30-second stop-go penalty. I could not see the reason why, so the penalties were cleared. There's no information on my end through my control apps of the reason why there was contact or anything else. Callum McLeod had a 5-second penalty for making contact with Amir Assad through a sky, what caused Amir to unfortunately spin out of control and then go around in circles for a little while. But it was side-to-side contact. There could have been space given on both sides, really. But Callum did get into Amir, what pushed Amir wide, what then caused a bigger contact, what caused Amir to basically, he was out of control and then hit the curb, what caused then the bigger contact, what resulted in Amir spinning. So we did have to give a time penalty to Mr. Callum McLeod. There's only a 5-second penalty that he had to take during his mandatory stop. But a 5-second penalty nonetheless has caused Callum to be down behind Mr. Mirasad. Massive shortcut, so yeah. Callum has made a few going into the first chicane where he's outbraked himself. So Mr. Chris Granali here is coming onto the back of Mr. Roger Clark in this, and he can flash him to give him the heads up that, hey, I'm a faster car. You don't have to move out the way, just know that I am here. Please do not defend from me overtaking you. As we said that, Mr. Ken Estep and Mr. Brandon Carl, these two are racing full position here. Yet Scottish aggression all day long. These two here are actually racing full position. So we're going to watch this battle here. Looking from the Honda there onto Mr. Ken Estep's Ferrari. Ken's Ferrari is one of the ones, unfortunately, that delivery did not load, as it has shown us the pass of Mr. Granali over Brandon, over I think. We will switch back to the battle here though between these two. I'm going to turn off my autopilot quickly. There we go. So we can stay on board with this battle, but unfortunately, if you look right behind these two, you have Mr. Heiko Sherman for Whipham Racing, who is in P1 coming to laps 8th and 7th during their battle. So this could get interesting. I wonder if Heiko, with his near 20-second gap, is going to hold back. Mr. Antonio Santos has gone off. So there was contact here between these two. We will go back and have a look at that replay. Oh, there's an unfortunate rejoin for Mr. Santos is there. So we are back live now with the guys. We're going to go back over to Brandon Carl. It does look like he's dropped back a little bit more from Mr. Ken Estep. As he's now got Heiko right behind him. He will not be able to defend his position here. If Mr. Heiko does say, no, I am coming by. Oh, this is going to get so dicey coming into the Parabolica. Brandon Carl is making the move on Mr. Ken Estep. He's made the move. So that's a gained full position. Brandon Carl up to 7th. Unfortunately, Brandon Carl got tapped by Amir in turn 1. But Ken Estep has got back past Mr. Brandon Carl there. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Please stay still, boys, and let Mr. Heiko Sherman come by. Brandon, please give him the space, give him the space. You can fight your battle afterwards. Thank you very much, Mr. Brandon Carl. Unfortunately, that does drop him a bit further back, but he has shown he does have the pace to catch up to Ken. He can most likely use the drag load from Heiko to pull himself a little bit closer back in. Yeah, so that's the thing is, the GT rules is you don't have to give up position, you just cannot defend your position. So Antonio Santos has gone off, so we're going to have to go with that. It's not showing me his car no more, don't know why that is. Exactly, Briefy, he wasn't ready for it. So Ken has moved to the inside, just to let Heiko have the racing line there. Didn't have to do that, but he has done it nicely. Antonio Santos, I can see him on track, but unfortunately, when I tried to jump to him on the cameras here, it's not jumping to him. So the only thing I can think of is Mr. Antonio Santos has had a disconnect. We'll just jump back in. Yeah, exactly that. I'm just going to switch into the game. Sorry, it will lag a couple of seconds. I do apologise, Mr. Boothby. Yes, Mr. Antonio Santos has disconnected from the race. So that is a massive shame for him. I do apologise for those skip frames there. It's just whilst I have to go back into the in-game view, it does lag. So Antonio Santos is shown as a yellow flag on track. He is unfortunately no longer in the server. So Roger, I think Roger killed Joa. More penalties. At the moment, he's been keeping his nose clean. And unfortunately, there's been a few incidents, obviously, when you see Mr. Antonio Santos get in front of him, of course, unfortunately, contact. There would be maybe a small penalty, but the answer is they're so unfortunate of a penalty that it was unneeded. Plus, also, Antonio Santos has unfortunately disconnected from the server. We take, obviously, any type of disconnect from the server as a car malfunction in real life. So a reason for retiring the car would be the same as a disconnect in game. So we're just coming up to 7 minutes remaining. We do have Mr. Heiko Sherman in first place. His fastest lap during the race has been a 1:49.8. Mr. Chris Ganali in second place as Ken Estep is coming into the pits again. Why is Ken coming into the pits? I cannot see why he would not race there for the position. So Mr. Chris Ganali is in P2 with a 1:50.0 is his fastest lap. Bolf Ramschild in the Ferrari, he is in P3. So Lesh Mom in fourth in the BMW. Mirasad in the last BMW there in fifth place. Callum McLeod in sixth. Brandon Carr in seventh. Ken Estep in eighth. Roger Clark in ninth. And unfortunate disconnect for Mr. Antonio Santos from Portugal. So that's a bit unfortunate. So it does look like the closest gap now is a Lesh Mom to the Ferrari of Bolf Ramschild. So Mr. Kenneth Step is in the pit lane. I do believe he's on the move, so we'll have a quick look. Yeah, he is on the move. Don't know why he's took that second stop though. That has confused me. He is still ahead of Roger Clark by a lap because Roger Clark's unfortunate penalties that I had to clear. But we'll have a look on from our leader, Mr. Heiko Sherman. Breaking news confirms Mr. Cole completely brain farted. Oh, I think we all need to give him a slap at the end of this one. So we're just coming up to 5 minutes remaining now, guys, of the first race of Season 2 of the ACC League. So Mr. Antonio Santos, he had his power flicker for a little while. And then, unfortunately, during the race, in the beginning of the race, he lost complete steering control, but then it came back to normal, and now again, but the wheel started to recalibrate itself during the race. So unfortunately, that's why he did retire. So that is why we are missing Antonio Santos. That is really bad, unfortunate. So Mr. Sean Cole did just message me saying his brother unfortunately came into the studio and asked him to do something, and he just got on with it, completely forgetting about the race. We will have to bitch slap Mr. Sean Cole. The legacy's Terry, like I said, buddy, when the next DLC comes out, what should be GT World Challenge America, I will be putting on a very late UK race. I mean late, like 2 a.m. my time. I'll come in, stay up for 2 hours, and give you this exactly same race. I might not do it for an hour-long race. I might shorten the race time down, but we will be looking at doing GT World Challenge only race series. So that would be all the new American tracks, including Laguna Seca, when they come out. So keep an eye out on that. As soon as the DLC drops, I'll get the information sorted. I'll get us a day. I will get everything sorted, and we'll be good to go, guys. So Mr. Ken Estep has gone back into the pits. I believe he's retiring from the race as well. So we will look at Alesh Murray. He's only 2 seconds back from Mr. Bolf Rumschild here in that Ferrari. Alesh Murray's doing a very good show here. I wonder if Alesh Murray could actually get a podium finish here. All he's got to do is put this pressure on, and he might be able to do this. So that'll be 8 PM your time, Terry, and you'll be able to confirm that you'll be definitely in for that. Unlike Sean Cole, I remember. So how much weight do we need to add to Mr. Terry Crouch? Well, we don't know how Terry is in ACC. Terry, we'll have to jump on together at some time and see what your pace is like. The maximum amount of ballast I can put on his car booth is 30 kilos. But I can also add restrictor plate to his car as well. So that will limit his top end horsepower. So maybe something we can look at if needed, Mr. Crouch. We know how fast you can be. But like I said, in this series there is not even going to be any success ballast. There's not even going to be any manual BOP to say like people going too fast or anything like that. Yes, you do, Mr. Booth. Get your hard drives in order. As we come up to the last couple of moments in the race, we'll switch over to Mr. Heiko Sherman. He's coming around down the back straight now. Coming around the Parabolica for the very last time. Unless he puts his foot down. No, he is going to back off. He does have the time. He has a 16-second gap. So Mr. Heiko Sherman will take the win here. So that'll be Mr. Heiko Sherman first. Chris Ganali will come home in P2. Brandon Cole is finished in P7. He was only just ahead. Both Ramshield and as Alesh Mum What's happened to Alesh? He's right behind Mr. Bolt Ramshield. Alesh has dropped all the way back down to 5th place. So just as we were watching that end of Mr. Heiko Sherman coming home, Alesh has had a massive mess up here. Yeah, as Terry said, the casual flex there for Heiko. But Mr. Wolf Ramshield comes home in P3, round up the top order. Amir Assad coming home in P4. Alesh Mum in 5th. Callum McLeod in the Mercedes just coming around the Parabolica. He will bring home P6. Roger Clark is finished in P8. Mr. Kennis, I believe, has come out the pits just to finish his lap. He has. So Callum McLeod comes home in P6, as we said. He did have that 5-second penalty during the race. So we'll watch over Mr. Kenner's step as he comes down under the bridge for the last time, coming into a Scary chicane. I guess Callum just went off and headbutted the wall, hence why the flag against his name. As there we go, the session has now ended. Ken Estep will still finish in P9. So guys, thank you for joining us. This has been the Simpit. This has been this first race of Season 2 of our ACC League. My name's been Mike. Again guys, if you're not with us, join us in our Discord. We're always open to help anyone go from complete amateur all the way up to esports professionals in either ACC or iRacing or any sim at that race. But enjoy guys, take care, and we will see you again soon. Bye for now.